Folks, how are you? Well, the news that came out a little while ago, or at least the story that came out a while ago, courtesy of Diario Sport, and of course I have to give credit to them over there, is that Barcelona would look to kind of end their 20, now almost 28 year, 26, 27 year, 28 maybe, 20, well, about on there, 26, 27, 28 year relationship with Nike, which ends up being a huge surprise to many, although maybe not so huge if you think about some of the complaints that you've heard that Barca are looking to. Of course, some will probably complain about the jersey, some will complain about recent kits that they've had, the controversy, but that's not even an issue. The issue is money. The issue is looking to see how they can earn more money, where they can earn more money, and how those different paths can really become something more, I guess, profitable in theory when you look at it. Initially, what's being said is that Barca are looking to end the contract this year. The thing is that they still have 4 more years with Nike in terms of their contract, their present contract, which has gone through different renewals and different changes and amendments to it over the past couple of years. Where things end up being interesting is that, well, there are offers from other places. Nike at this moment have offered Barcelona around 85 million euros, which ends up being about 90 to 100 million dollars a year. Now, Puma have offered 100 million per year, 100 million euros per year, which ends up being about 105, 110 million dollars a year, thereabouts. So I mean, give or take a few million here and there. So that ends up being an issue. But then there's another topic that has come up, and it's that Barcelona might go the way of their own brand, which, of course, if many of you have been following, is something that has been in the news as of late with Tiger Woods, who ended his contract with Nike a couple of weeks ago, and he now is going to begin implementing and look to start his own brand in terms of clothing, apparel, things of that nature. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the long run, because no, this isn't information. This is just logical, and trying to be logical and trying to be as based as possible in terms of this story. Is I don't think Nike's just gonna say, well, okay, bye, thank you, it's been nice, thank you so much. They're leaving money on the table with Barcelona if they end up parting ways now, which is what Barcelona want to do. Like I said before, their contract is until 2028. Now, if it's next year, maybe there could be something worked out a little bit more amicably, as Barca. Some have reported Barca officials wanting something, like I said, amicable. I don't think that's going to happen. It could be amicable instead of a 4 year contract that ends up being a 3 year contract, and things of that. That can end up being cut, or the amount of money that Barcelona would have to pay to buy out of that contract ends up being reduced. That's a possibility. But I don't see just Nike cutting ties, on a whim. They're not going to do that. So that ends up being the big issue in all of this. Number two, there's also going to be a litigious factor about it. There's going to be a situation where Barcelona will have to go to court at some point and look to see how they can get out if things do go in that direction. I mean, I don't think many would want to go in that avenue, especially Barcelona not wanting to spend money on judicial, on more litigious kind of pettiness, because they want to go another avenue. I think that at this point they just kind of gut it out and wait 3, maybe 4 years, maybe look to reduce it. But now what's being talked about is that Joan Laporta thinks that this avenue of going to a new brand might be, or using their own brand, could be something interesting. Maybe. I mean, it's a huge look, one thing for sure, it's a huge gamble. It's something that could be very risky for Barcelona, because it's something that the only club that I know that has that, there could be another one, I can't recall, is Estudiantes over in Argentina. They have their own mark, Ruge, which is the one that you will see on their jerseys quite often. The positive there is that you, as the brand, you holding the brand, earn 100% of the profits. The negative is that you have 100% of the expenses in terms of everything. You have to go and you have to start basically setting up another business. Many in Barcelona have talked about maybe this is the possibility of having another palanca, of having another one of those so-called levers that Joan Laporta looked to implement in order to get rid of debt and did so by jettisoning different properties that Barcelona have had at their disposal over many years. So that could be something interesting. Like I said, it's a huge gamble, but it could bring, and I don't know. I'm not either a business person or a lawyer, so I can't speak freely in terms of being absolutely sure one thing or the other in the business side or in the legal side can end up being true or not, or come to fruition or not. I just tell you basically the logical aspect of it from the legal side, and the business aspect, putting everything on the table and telling you this is what's there. Now what ends up happening is anybody's guess, especially how economics are going in the world of football and in society itself, and in many countries. Well, that ends up being a huge undertaking, and not only that, like I said before, it's a huge gamble. So we'll see where things end up with Barcelona in the next few months.